Hello subscribers, welcome to the Fast Profits Daily. I am Brijesh Bhatia. Markets have been rolling higher and higher. Since its breakout from 19,000 onto the Nifty, there is no look back and we have seen most of the stocks, the rally was started by mid cap and small cap, and initially the Nifty, the large caps have been picking up very strongly. Well, in this video, I'll be discussing about the PSU bank. Are they still worth investing now? In this video, I'll be discussing about, if you remember, the last year I have released a video in July 2022 stating that the contrarian bet for the decade, and it was PSU banks. Well, exactly a year now, we will look at what are the updates onto the charts, how the stocks has performed, and the way forward for the PSU bank index. So before I start on to the way forward, let's look at the how the PSU index as well as the PSU stocks have performed in last 1 year. The 1 year is since I'm taking since the release of the video on 13 July 2022. From that close to the yesterday's close, which was 5th of July and July 2023. So if you just look at the performance over here on your screen, PSU index or the bank index have risen by around 65%, a 65% stellar rally. Though there were hiccups between, there were plus and minus happening into the index. But look at this rally from a 1 year perspective, it's 65% up. Well, if I just go on to the stocks, Bank of Baroda, even the leader into the PSU Bank Index with around 95% gain. Bank of India 79% gain. Canara Bank 53%. Central Bank with 68%. Indian Bank with around 81%. IOB 48%. Maharashtra Bank or Bank of Maharashtra 98%. Well, PNB around 93%. And if you are following us on our website, I have yesterday mentioned about the PNB structure as well onto the chart, so you can read that article as well. Coming on to the performance, PSB with around 126% gain. SBI, one of the laggard into the PSU bank with around 24% gain. UCO Bank 154% and Union Bank with around 108%. So these are the performance of the PSU bank for last 1 year. And if you look at, as I said, the rally was led by mid caps and small caps, and then the large caps are taking up. So if you look at the screen over here as well, the mid cap and small cap PSU banks have seen a huge comeback. Look at the Indian Bank 81%. Look at the PSB 126%. UCO Bank around 154. Union Bank 108. Bank of Maharashtra 98. So yes, the blue chips or the large caps like SBI, which have been laggard into the PSU bank index with around 24% gain, have been struggling as of now. But look at the structure or look at the returns of mid cap and small cap PSU banks. They have been strongly coming back onto the higher levels. Now, if you have seen that, or if you remember that video, or even you can go onto our archives and watch that video as well. I'll try to add the link of that video into the description as well. But if you look at the chart over here, which was highlighted then, this is the PSU bank by Nifty 50. So what I'm doing is I'm comparing PSU bank index with the Nifty 50 performance. And since 2010, 2011, it was underperforming. The PSU bank was underperforming against the Nifty. But as soon as we saw the trend is changing, and that was the last year, just if you remember, if we just go on to that, I have highlighted the same chart. This was the first time that the chart was turning out, and PSU bank index was showing that it will outperform, and that's what exactly has happened in last 1 year. Look at this performance over here. The Nifty, since that breakout, if you look at the arrow marked over there, the breakout was highlighted in that video. Look at that video and look at the breakout over here. The rally has been tremendous for PSU bank index with 65% gains. So that's a huge percentage rally as we compared it with the Nifty 50 over here. So yes, there is a chance that the tide is turning onto the positive side for PSU against the Nifty if you look at the ratio chart over here. The second chart which highlighted in that video as well, and this is an update over here. So if you look at this is PSU Bank PNF chart on the monthly chart 3% by 3. So we highlighted that the bigger fall, the bigger O column which you see on the chart, that breakout was taken out. It was coming on to the retest that level with the double top buy at that point in time. And look at the rally over here. Still the trend is very bullish, and if in case we see another double top buy, there it will be a full up buying into the monthly scale 3% by 3, and that would again indicate that there is a resumption in the bullish momentum. But look at this tremendous rally into the PSU Bank. What would be the way forward over here for PSU Bank? Should you invest, or is it worth investing at current point in time into the PSU banks over here? So let's look at the next chart. Again, coming on to the PSU Bank Index weekly chart over here. Now look at this weekly. As I said, the rally right from, if you look at the bottom over here, the May, every time this index tests around 50 weekly exponential moving average, there is an opportunity building up. Back in 2022, when there was retest and resumption into the momentum from 50 weekly exponential moving average, the rally has been seen a positive. Back right in the first quarter of 2023, we saw that the 50 average has been retesting, or probably index was trending around those levels. And that time again, I have come up with a video on the PSU Bank Index. If you have, go to our archive. But if you look at the current momentum, yes, the momentum is very stronger over here. We saw the previous highs being taken out as of now over here. And look at the lower panel, the RSI. The RSI has been giving a positive or a bullish range shift, I would say. The momentum with the price breakout, RSI is also breaking out, indicating that there is a change in momentum from bullish onto the RSI from a consolidation zone. Yes, with the RSI, with the price, both are breaking out. It indicates that yes, there is a resumption into the bullish momentum after a consolidation zone over here. Now, interestingly, if you look at the next chart, though if you I've highlighted the Nifty PSU Bank Index by Nifty 50 onto the update of the previous video. But if you look at the recent development, what is happening over here is, look at the structure over here. After a rally, which means that the PSU Bank was outperforming Nifty 50, there was a phase of consolidation where Nifty has come back very strongly, largely led by private banks. If you look at in the recent rally, PSU was slightly consolidating in a zone. Now they are on the verge of breaking out of a triangle structure, the red triangle, if you look at. And the RSI in the lower panel has turning out from the 50 zone, which is again a median. And when there is a bullish trend happening onto the long-term trend, weekly or monthly chart, and when the RSI turns from 50 zone onto the bullish side, again it indicates that there is a resumption into the bullish momentum over here. So I believe with the price trending higher, the PSU Bank Index, they would certainly outperform the Nifty 50. And if in case this ratio break out onto the positive side, we may see a resumption of outperformance into the PSU Bank against the Nifty 50. So this is a one thing you should keep on your radar. The next chart, where I think there is ample opportunity into the PSU Bank as well. And if you remember, I have highlighted this video from a 2030 perspective or a decade perspective, and I still believe yes, there is a huge potential onto the PSU Bank Index. And look at this ratio chart again. This is PSU Bank Index by Private Bank Index. Now, as I said, since 2009-2010, this index was underperforming, and for the first time in last year, we saw the trend was changing. As it was changing onto the Nifty as well, this was changing onto the private bank, comparing the private bank index as well. Now, if you look at over here, I have zoomed the recent data over here. We saw there was a gap over here, and again the consolidation happened into the gap. The gap has been now acting as a support, and there is a resumption of PSU outperformance over the private over here, which means that PSU banks stocks still have a huge room to go higher against the private bank. And for last, I would say since 2010 to 2021, it was largely led by the private banks rather than PSU banks. And PSU banks were struggling. There were some of the fundamental, I don't want to go into the NPS and all those numbers, but looking at the technical structure, it seems that PSU Banks is one could be the leader in next 5, 6, 7 years against the private bank, and definitely you should keep on your watch list any dip into the PSU bank. It will be a worth investing and looking at the structure for a next a decade sort of. Looking at at least 5, 6 years time, I think PSU banks have a huge potential to head higher, outperform against the Nifty 50, outperform against the private bank index. So there is a huge potential on the PSU bank stocks. Choose your stock wisely where you think the fundamentals are changing onto the positive side. And I still believe go on with the PSU bank over the private bank, and it is still worth investing into the PSU banks on every dips. Signing off, Brijesh Bhatia.